Hi everyone, it's Megan. I blog at welcome to the zoo.ca, and I like to blog about several things, but one of the things I blog about is home daycare. And I've had a ton of questions from readers and online about running your own home daycare. And today I'm going to be answering a question from Cindy. Cindy is in kind of a bit of a dicey situation. She's just had a brand new baby and is finding that one of her daycare families, who she loves dearly, is kind of taking advantage of her willingness to bend her rules and to be available when they need her, but then also to keep their kids home or take them elsewhere on days when they normally would have been at daycare and not pay for those days. So she asks how she can go about letting that family go and maybe filling those spots. It's 2 kids that she's got with this family. Maybe filling those spots with families that are willing to either be full-time or pay for a full-time spot, even if the children maybe are going to spend the day with an aunt or uncle or whatever, or taking a vacation day. So here's my answer. The first thing that you need to do when you're starting a new family is to make sure you go through your parent handbook very closely with them. Now on welcome to the zoo.ca, I've got a sample parent handbook that you are welcome to download and change up, edit it, do whatever you want with it to make it yours. Feel free to use that as a guide. If you go to welcome to the zoo.ca, it's under the home daycare menu and you'll see it right there under printable templates. There's a whole bunch of other resources there too. But so in your parent handbook, you're going to have detailed exactly what the full-time rate is. And I would suggest, unless part-time is a big thing in your area, to stick with full-time. Because when you have a part-time child that maybe comes, say, 5 mornings out of the week and isn't there for the afternoons, finding another child to fill in those afternoons is really, really difficult. So I would suggest just starting off with just all full-time spots. And so in your parent handbook, you're going to have that specified that you only offer full-time spots, and the cost for that full-time spot is X amount. Now the key wording is that you're offering a spot. You're not offering care for the child on the days that they're there. Obviously you're going to be taking care of them when they're there, but what the parent is actually paying for is a spot, a dedicated space for their child to be able to come whenever they need to, regardless of how many hours they actually need. So I would also suggest that when you have your full-time spots laid out, you're not specifying, if somebody only comes 6 hours versus 8 hours, it's still the same amount for all of your spots. So you're making the same amount for each child that you're watching. Same with the age groups. A lot of people like to charge a little bit more for babies and toddlers because they're a little bit more hands-on care than an older child. But here's the thing, they're still taking up a spot. Legally, you're only allowed to have a certain number of children in your care. Depending on where you live, it could be anywhere between 4 children up to 12 children. If you're in the States, if you're in Canada, it tends to be a little bit less. But each of those spots is worth a percentage of your income, and you need to protect that income, because that's why you're doing this. You're running a home daycare out of your home so that you can be contributing to your family financially. So you need to protect your income. And so what you're going to do is, of course, have those spots laid out. Make sure that each parent knows during the interview process that they are paying for a spot. They're not paying for the days that their child is there. Now, if you'd like to offer a certain number of vacation days, perhaps, through the year, you can do that. If you take a look at my sample handbook that I've got there, what I normally did each year, I would change it a little bit each year, but each year I would take about 3 weeks off, 2 weeks in the summer and 1 week at Christmas, and I would not charge the parents at all for that time. So if they wanted to line up their vacations with mine, perfect, that was great, they didn't have to pay for that. However, if the family wanted to take a vacation during the time that I was open, that I wasn't away, they would still pay half rate. And they had up to a week's worth of days, so 5 days, that they could take at half rate. And then any days that their child wasn't there beyond that, they would still pay the full rate. And that was to ensure that their spot would be there for them when they got back. It meant that I could make sure that my income was steady and that I could rely on it, and that all of those things, I mean, if a child's not there, you're still having to pay, for the heat to be on and for the curriculum. You're probably buying some kind of curriculum, you're paying for that. You're paying for groceries that you buy, a couple of weeks in advance, that kind of thing. So you still have your costs to lay out for that child. So you still need to be paying, you still need to be charging that from your families. So now that they know that in the interview process, before they even sign on with you, they're aware of that and they know that that's going to be expected. Now, if they have not followed through on their end and they are taking vacation days and deciding not to pay you, then we've got a whole other issue. And then we need to start talking about late fees and what we're going to where we're going to draw the line in terms of termination. So I'm going to be tackling that in an upcoming video, so keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, good luck. I'd love to hear what your strategies are for making sure that parents know what they're responsible for and the agreements, the contracts that you have with your parents. Feel free to link to them. If you've got a PDF on your daycare website, put a link to that in the comment section below, because then we can be looking at one another's handbooks. As long as you're okay with sharing it, we can be learning from one another as well. And let people know what works for you and what doesn't work, and we can learn from each other's experience. So thanks very much. I'll see you in the next video. See you then. Bye bye.